ESPN is disrespecting the Cleveland Browns. They hate us. In fact, not only that, they have a very powerful message that they want to send to the Browns as well, and a message to fix them in 2026. I'm your host, Joey O'Donoghue. Welcome into the Browns Report, and we are going to dive into ESPN's craziness, but also suggestions for the Cleveland Browns for the next season. So, gear up, get ready, and check out what ESPN has for the Browns in terms of their power rankings. Dead last. 32nd. It's rude. It's uneducated. We were not the worst team in the NFL last year, but they think that we are heading into the 2026 season, and then I'll talk about the message they have to try and quote-unquote fix the Browns. But first, I want to know from you guys, when you see this, where would you power rank the Cleveland Browns right now, okay? Because I'm not going to be delusional. I get it. I wouldn't put us at 1, but I wouldn't put us at 32. You get a number in that comment section where you would power rank the Browns in regards to all the teams in the National Football League right now. And let me just say this. I can guarantee you 4 teams are worse than the Cleveland Browns heading into next year. 4 of them. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. The New York Jets should be dead last on everybody's list. They're a mess. They had the worst quarterback in the league last year. Who are they going to start? Brady Cook? Again? They're done with Fields, Taylor. I mean, come on. We got more options than them even. Raiders were worse than us last year. Not even close. We had such a bad offensive line. The Raiders actually had a worse-ranked offensive line. We were 32 and 31, respectively. Cardinals, I would also argue that I'll take the Browns roster over Arizona's. And then the Dolphins are in such a mess with Tua right now. We stomped on them last year with Dillon Gabriel. His only win came in a defensive rout for Cleveland. So, I just want to say that for ESPN ranking us 32nd of the 32 teams. And we literally have the best player in the league. How can you say we have the worst team when we have the best guy in the entire league? And we did not have the worst record last year. We're not in the worst situation. We're literally a top 5 defense. It's also clear to me when you read these articles from these ESPN insiders, these writers, they don't believe in Shedeur at all. I've listened to Fowler. Even Oyefusi goes up and down on him. They don't believe in 12 as a quarterback. I would love for him to go out there, prove him wrong, and show him now that everybody is officially doubting him. And like I said, last season we were a top 5 defense, top 4 in total defense. I don't understand how you could watch that and think, yeah, this team's 32nd out of the 32 teams in the league. So I'm pretty fired up about it. If you are too, show me in that comment section. But it is disrespectful. But obviously the Browns need some work, okay? And so ESPN had a message for Cleveland. They gave a 3-word message to every single team. And for the Browns, it was all in on offense. That is the plan for Cleveland this offseason. I get that. Here was the direct quote from the ESPN article about why offense is the key. Well, Andrew Berry said that Cleveland's offense, which ranked last in scoring over the past 2 seasons, will receive significant investment this offseason. That process started with the hiring of Todd Monken, an accomplished and veteran offensive mind, as head coach. The work continues with personnel upgrades across the unit. The Browns need to add another playmaker at receiver and possibly replace as many as 4 starters on the offensive line. The quarterback position will also be a top priority again as Cleveland searches for answers in free agency and the NFL draft. Okay, let's talk about all 3. Let's go through each position. How can we fix this? What's the solution? Offensive line, we'll talk quarterback and wide receiver here. Let's start, though, with the O-line that we all know needs revamping. Okay, there's a point to be made there that we literally might have 5 different starters than we had day 1 last year. Okay, at least 4 potentially. You'll see. I think the draft is going to be huge here for Cleveland to fix that O-line. Remember, cap space, they got some work to do to clear it up. You're probably not going to be able to splash on too many free agents, but Andrew Berry restructures a lot of contracts, and we'll deal with the dead money later, so I'll get into that. But with the 6th pick that the Cleveland Browns have, I think you're looking at the top 2 linemen in the draft. Whoever's there. Fano, Mauigoa. If the Cardinals take one of them at 3, you take the other. It's your biggest need. These are the two best ones in the draft. Get it done on a rookie deal. No questions asked. That's what the Patriots did last year. They're in the Super Bowl. But I did the liberty of mapping out a bunch of different options here for the Browns. And, I do think Fano is more versatile. He's technical. And Mauigoa is just a true mauler. Just pushes guys over. So I like either one here for Cleveland. Right away, address your biggest need. But if you're of the opinion that the Browns go wide receiver right away, and we will talk about wide receivers, well then, with that second first-round pick that the Browns have at 24, here's some options that could fall. Lomu, tremendous upside, very quick for an offensive tackle, and that's kind of what we need. DeJuan Jones is pretty slow out there on that left side of things. Lamu's got tremendous upside if he can put on a bit more strength. Vega, Ioane, the Penn State offensive lineman, agile for his size, but he's another big mauler, just moves people in the run game. Proctor, I think he's controversial. I would not use pick 24 on Kadyn Proctor here. I'd rather take a receiver that's available if you don't get any of your top O-lineman options then, because he's kind of controversial. Went to Alabama. He reminds me of DeJuan Jones. He's a massive dude, kind of slow, kind of controversial, but he is being ranked as one of the top offensive tackles in the draft as well. Monroe Freeling, a name out of Georgia that has been sneaking up the ranks as well. Keep an eye on these guys for pick 24 here, or maybe you get lucky. You can get them early in the second round, but that brings us to pick 39, some more likely options you could get early in the second. Talk about the Oregon guard. He's been getting a lot of buzz lately too, Emmanuel Pregnon. Connor Lew, top 2, according to Mel Kiper, at his position as an offensive guard. So look out for the Auburn product. And I really like Jennings Dunker. Man, the guy, he's rocking that mullet, but he plays with passion, energy, and his technical skills are developing as well. Big fan of Dunker, getting him late. He might even be able to fall past 39, but I'm hearing so much more buzz on him that I think this is a good spot for him for Cleveland. Pick 70 and beyond. Some names that also might not fall this far, but if they do, absolute steals. Jake Slaughter. Cleveland's going to need a center as well, I think. Posta coming off a season-ending Achilles tear. And he's a free agent. So Slaughter has got strong PFF grades. A lot of people think he was the top center in the SEC, perhaps. Blake Miller getting a lot of buzz out of Clemson, too. And Keylan Rutledge. Now, that's a name you want to look out for late in the draft. I imagine he's going to test pretty well. He had some nasty pancakes, 0 sacks allowed last season. Offensive lineman out of Georgia Tech. Now, this issue could also perhaps be solved in free agency, but like I said, I don't think Cleveland has a lot to play with here in free agency. Yes, you should go out and splash 1, maybe 2 big names here. And for offensive linemen, that list looks a little bit like this. David Edwars, one of the top guards on the market, maybe the top guard. Could Todd Monken bring Tyler Linderbaum with him to Cleveland? We would certainly take that, folks. He is the top center option on the market. Rasheed Walker, a younger offensive tackle, hits free agency from Green Bay. Braden Smith, one of the best right tackles on the market, probably the best in my opinion. Might be a little bit pricier. He's 29 years old, but he's done such a phenomenal job in Indy that Cleveland, if they want to use a splash on right tackle, they certainly could. And then AVT, when healthy, very solid. Did not play last year, but he's a younger, talented guard. I could see him succeeding in a different system. Hopefully, that would mean Cleveland's. We know it's a big issue. So before we talk other positions, be the GM for me. Browns have 10 draft picks. How many should be used on offensive linemen? Give me a number down below. Hey, you can write all 10 if you want. Obviously, that won't be the case. But give me a number. How many of these should be O-linemen landing in Cleveland on draft day? Coming up, we're going to talk about what everybody wants to talk about, and that is quarterback for the Browns next year, as well as wide receiver options. Do not miss out. But let's give a special shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks. Get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app. I've been playing ever since. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I like to pick the more on Luka. He never lets me down. And make sure to to check if PrizePicks is available in your state today. It probably is. They are available in 50 states. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. Let's talk basketball. Got a 2-pick power play. Give me the claw. More than 24.5 points. And Wemby, more than 2.5 dunks. That's right. You can do it all on PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There are no quarterback options. There's none in free agency in the draft that appeal to me, that tell me we shouldn't just stick with the guys that we got on the roster. According to ESPN, the #1 free agent quarterback in 2026 is Daniel Jones. The crowd goes mild. That's the best option. After that, they have it as Malik Willis and Aaron Rodgers as the next best quarterback options. For the money you're going to have to pay to get a quarterback that probably won't succeed in the Browns system, since no other quarterback has, I don't love it. I don't love the idea of getting Daniel Jones, he's probably going to resign with the Colts, by the way, but Rodgers wouldn't go to Cleveland. Malik Willis, there's going to be a little bidding war for him. And I don't think that's the answer for the Browns. So, start Shedeur. Run it back with Shedeur Sanders. What do you have to lose? You're limited in the moves you can make in free agency. And your biggest need is offensive line. So use the money wisely. Beef up the O-line. Give Shedeur a shot with a full offseason of actual prep and practice. And listen, there'll be a quarterback battle, absolutely. It's not his job right now, guaranteed. They're going to look at a bunch of different things. But I think it's the most logical scenario. You start 12 from day one this time, see how it looks, and invest in the offensive line. We've seen now the teams that are in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, you built a system where anybody could succeed, quite frankly. That's the key to success in today's NFL. Build up that O-line, keep the defense how it is. And ideally, Shedeur Sanders goes out there, balls out, boom, there's no more question marks. We're done having the debate. We got the guy. He's him. If he doesn't, at least you have a better system now with a better offensive line that you invested in, and you draft a quarterback in 2027. Early. This time, early. First pick you have. You take a quarterback. Haven't really been able to do that much. And you shouldn't really do it this year because the quarterback class in 2026, don't love it. Outside of Mendoza, who's locked up a Raider, is going to take a massive haul to trade up, and that's not worth it either for Cleveland when you desperately need 4 offensive linemen perhaps. The 2027 class, though, elite. I mean, there's some big names coming up here. C.J. Carr, Dante Moore, Arch Manning. Oh, got everything. Lenore Sellers even perhaps. And that's why I think it's the best case scenario for the Browns. You start Shedeur, who's a 5th-round pick on a rookie deal and showed some flashes. If he's great, boom, you got your answer. If he's not, there's so many more options. Next cycle. It's a win-win. You weigh in for me, though. Who should be the Browns starting quarterback in 2026? Comment the name down below that you think should start for the Cleveland Browns. Let me know. Curious to see what the Browns fans think. And by the way, I mean, you're also seeing that teams kind of stick with quarterbacks. And it works. You're not always going to be good. Maybe we're too quick to move on from quarterbacks sometimes. But they will have Watson on the roster as a backup. So if they don't like what they see from Shedeur early, they could always turn to Deshaun again. But I really think it's going to be Shedeur from day one. And it should be. All right, folks, let's talk about wide receiver now. You're definitely drafting a wide receiver. No doubt in my mind. Like I said, the cap space is limited for the Browns, and you're probably not going to pay one of the top wide receivers, overpay, quite frankly, a guy like Alec Pierce, who's not really a one anyway, you're definitely drafting one. Now, the top options for the people that say, let's get one with one of our first-round picks, which I think we should use that second first-round pick on a wide receiver. But Cardinal Tate might be there at 6, as would Jordan Tyson. Those are the top 2 in this draft. Mekhi Lemon getting a lot of buzz right now. We talked about a mock draft the other day where he got mocked to go to Cleveland at pick 24. That's a dream. Go watch that mock draft if you haven't already. Denzel Boston, big target, 50-50 balls with great catch radius. We've talked a lot about him. I like him a lot. And now, I looked at a lot of analysts. I've talked with a lot of experts, and KC Concepcion is the consensus 5th best wide receiver in the NFL draft. And he's also the most likely to be available at pick 24. So keep an eye out on him. Good in the return game. Those are your top 5 here for this NFL draft. Also keep an eye on Zachariah Branch. Mel Kiper loves him. And so he'll probably be available 2nd, 3rd round perhaps. Some people even think 4th round. I don't think he goes just that far, but maybe. Keep an eye on him. Also keep an eye on Chris Brazel, the Tennessee wide receiver, 6'5", massive target. You know, people down on him because Tennessee wide receivers maybe have a lack of success, but he's an interesting one to get later if you do just go OL twice in the first round. Malachi Fields, too. Really like what I saw from him in the Senior Bowl. 6'4", Notre Dame wide receiver. I mean, that'd be a steal if you get Malachi Fields a little bit later than the first round. Like, keep an eye on these 3 for Cleveland as well. But I think a receiver comes from the NFL draft here. That's your solution for the Browns' wide receiver problem. You let me know a wide receiver that you want the Browns to draft. They gave you some good names. You could pick from one of them or shoot me your own even later in the draft. But get a name in the comment section for me. I want to know all the players that you guys want to bring to Cleveland in 2026. And that's going to do it for us on today's show. Appreciate you guys being here with me on the Browns Report. I've been your host, Joey O'Donohue, and I'll got more videos coming out for you guys pretty soon. So stay tuned.